Man, there are some pissed off people at me. So I did a video a couple days ago about the government employees and their strike and why they shouldn't get paid anymore. So a lot of people are pissed off at me, running their mouths in the comment section because they don't understand what I was saying. I put some personal opinions in there. So I'm going to do this one without any personal opinions and just give you some of the straight fact. My issue with government employees getting a raise is not how much they make. I understand that $40,000 is almost nothing. My issue was with the fact that people who pay taxes and pay their salaries are making less than them. 3.7 million people in this country are below the poverty line, which is 37.5 thousand in this country. Well, that's on average, depends on the province, depends on everything else. But on average, 37.5K. Right off the bat, no matter what, you're making at least 40K working for the government. You can talk about whether you had to work at the temp there and get a full-time job and everything else. That's your decisions. Nobody else made you do that. Now, the reason why that shouldn't happen is not because they don't deserve a living wage. I had a young lady who has 2 kids and works for the government, only makes $40,000 a year, and she's so broke she had to move back in with her parents. She was telling me this in the comments, and I do feel for her. I do feel for all of them. It's not that at all. But the fact of the matter is, people who pay other people can't be paying them more than they make themselves. People who work full time at McDonald's or Tim Hortons are making minimum wage. In Alberta, that's $15 an hour. They work 40 hours a week, so that's only $30,000 a year. 31.2, I think. So they pay taxes as well, and they pay taxes for government employees. Why should a government employee who already makes $8,000 a year more than them get a raise when they're not getting a raise? That's my issue. But it's also not that. It's so many other things. It's not that they shouldn't get a raise, but until everybody else is making a living wage in this country, the government employees should be the last ones to get it. They have perks that nobody else in the country gets. Most people do not have a pension. And whether they pay into the pension or not, it's taxpayers who foot most of the bill for their pension plan. They're paying $50 to $100 bi-weekly, but yet they're getting $16,000 a year into their pension plan at the end of it. So do the math. It doesn't add up. You're not paying all of it. You're not even paying a large percentage of it. Now, look at the fact that in Canada, we have over 880,000 government employees. There's 39 million people in the country. That means that 1 in every 40 people works for the government. So if you average that out to every single tax-paying person in the country, that means that 39 people to pay one government employee are paying over $1,200 a year every single year just to pay one government employee. So right off the hop, everyone is out $1,200 just to pay you. But yet again, the people who are making $8,000 less than you should spend more in taxes and have taxes increased yet again because you need a raise. The problem is not that you don't deserve the raise. It's the fact that taxpayers cannot foot the bill. And you work for taxpayers because you work for tax dollars. Now, you can sit there and say that you pay taxes all you want, but the fact of the matter is your taxes are redundant. You're paying taxes out of tax dollars. It doesn't make any sense. And I'll give you an example of this. I'll keep the numbers very short and simple so that everyone can follow along with this. Let's say the entire Canadian tax-paying population puts in $100, and $20 of that goes to paying government employees. So the government employees then pay their 30% and give $6 back. So in essence, they only got paid $14 out of all that. but they put 16 or $6 back. That's where it doesn't make any sense. We should just pay them $6 less and then not have them file taxes at all. They'd have the same amount of money in their pocket, and we would have less government employees because we wouldn't need as many accountants to file their taxes. The average accountant in Canada does approximately 1,000 people's taxes per year. They get paid roughly about 60,000, mind you, but Canadian CRA accountants make between $65,000 and $120,000 a year. So if you average that out, it's, what is it, 87 and a half or something like that? I'm probably wrong there, but it's somewhere around there. But then you have to figure out that, again, Canadians are paying into their pension plan, their benefits, and everything else. What they actually get paid is not what it costs tax dollars. It's raised from that. So let's use a conservative estimate and just round it off at $100,000 for your simple math. So if you take out 880 government employees because they're doing 1,000 people's taxes for the government who shouldn't be paying taxes in the first place and just getting paid less, it would save the Canadian taxpayers $88 million, because there would be 880 people not making $100,000 a year for taxpayers. So why don't we just stop paying all government employees enough to pay taxes? They don't pay taxes at all. They get the same amount of money in their account. And then we get rid of 880 CRA accountants. And then you can take your raise out of that. There's $880 million. Split that up between 880,000 people, or the 155,000 people that are on strike. It's probably a nice chunk of change. But again, the whole thing with my issue is not that they shouldn't get paid more. It's not that they shouldn't be able to buy a house and spend time with their kids, or go on a vacation, or go and enjoy their life, like buying a car. It doesn't have to be a nice car, but a new car is nice. Mine's cheap as hell, but I wanted a new car and I wanted to be fiscally responsible. It's not that. That's my issue. It's that the people paying you cannot pay you more than they make. Now, here's another example. If you're talking to a business person who owns a business, they can't pay their employees more than they make. And there's a reason for this. It's because they're the ones that took all the risk. They're the ones that bought all the tools or equipment or computers or whatever they needed to start the business. And then on top of that, they have to pay all the bills. They have to pay all the overhead. They have to pay for the employees. So if they paid the employees more than they made themselves, they wouldn't have enough left to go and pay all the bills. It doesn't work. We've been having this problem for decades now because this is how our government works. It's not the people that work for the government on the bottom end that are the problem. It's the politicians that are the problem. It's our crime minister that is the problem. He's the worst one of all. But the thing is, when you look at the economics of it, you can't pay the employees more than the people make. It just does not work. Now, if you think I'm a heartless prick in saying all of this, or even if you just think I missed something in all of it, let me know in the comments. But really, if you think I'm a heartless prick, please watch the video that I did on YouTube. The channel is Primal Necessity, the same as here. And the video I did is called The Plan. If you think I'm a heartless prick, please watch that. You'll understand it's not the case. I'm not out to hurt anybody. I'm not out to get anybody. I just want everybody to do better, not just a certain group of people. Because the majority can't pay the minority more than they make.